introduce Oonagh Gallagher, who works with us here in Oonagh Enterprise Company. And Oonagh works with individuals, with entrepreneurs, carries out a lot of one-to-one mentoring and works on different programs as well, all around enterprise. The core mission of the company here, as with others on this call this morning, is to support, to promote enterprise and support entrepreneurs. And Oonagh has spent 4 or 5 years doing that with us here, and has a great range of skills. But for today, and I think one of the most useful skills Oonagh has is just in project management, and now works on, I think, 4 or 5 or maybe 6 different European projects Oonagh over the period. And it's a great skill to have developed just with our European partners. We decided a number of years ago to completely ignore Brexit, that we would continue working with European partners and we would continue in European programs as long as it was possible. And when the deadline came, we feel that something will move and allow us to continue working with European partners. So we would like to see that continue. As things stand at the moment, we'll be working with European partners until 2023, even with Brexit going ahead in January 2021. So Oonagh, if I can ask you to come in, I know you're going to go through the best practice guide, and it's one of there's 3 outputs, as I mentioned at the start, on the program, and this is one of the key ones, so that when the program is finished and when we go off this call today, that people have a good practice guide to refer to and to lean on. So over to you, Oonagh. And you're right.
Thanks very much, Nick, and thanks, Emma. That was a really insightful presentation. It's hard to follow. There's so many relevant parts of that that is also relevant to our course here today. I will be talking about digital change makers, so that really is our European program. So we've been working with many people like Emma and like our later speaker David and our interviewers later about how we can make this project relevant. We don't want it to be like any other project, and it's nearly more relevant than ever with our COVID situation and Brexit situation, that we need to, as business advisors like myself, start skilling up using digital tools where we can be better advisors, help the smaller businesses locally. And now that more people are working remotely, seeing what they can use to make their day easier, working with staff easier, and all over make it easier just as a company. So just a brief overview of digital change makers. It really is to increase the overall improvement of the skills of the business advisors. So ourselves, our partners Momentum, the fund in Ireland, our Danish partner European Institute, and our Netherlands partner ROC, and also our UK partner, we've all came together using our own experience to see what we could build to be the perfect project in digital change makers. So really today I'm going to talk about the aim of the Good Practice Guide. So it was really the first step of the project. We were looking at, okay, how we can compile 17 examples from our European countries. What are the best tools in different sectors? We want to show how the business advisors can make use of these tools. So over the next while, when Catherine's talking and Laura's talking, we'll be talking about the growth of the project as well. So this was developed back in the end of 2018, start of 2019. So even from then, obviously from our COVID, being working remotely and everything like that, we have came on even from our Good Practice Guide. There's things that have developed from that, but this is our main point from where we are starting. So it's looking at how it progresses to the user guide as well. The important thing we want to look at in the Good Practice Guide is the value of digital. Okay, so it's looking at how we can use it as a whole. So the target group of the Good Practice Guide is really anyone. So like myself, business advisors, we've been using it when working with clients, teachers in local secondary schools, colleges and stuff. They can use the Good Practice Guide when introducing the class to many different topics. Local entrepreneurs at any level can use it to improve their digital skills, and also anyone who really wants to start a business. So if anyone comes in to us here, we would nearly recommend the Good Practice Guide, just looking at maybe free resources that are available, or if they have the money there, looking at resources that can help them become better businesses on a digital level. So really our methodology when getting stuck into the Good Practice Guide was gathering the information on the best tools. So there was a real peer learning period, there was a knowledge sharing period that went on for a good few months, looking at, okay, what are the best tools out there? What are the ones, the ones that small businesses might use from the get-go? So hopefully our 17 tools have that covered. We've used extensive knowledge, as I said, from our European partners. So when we were around the table discussing them, there were some tools myself or Irish partners never heard of that maybe our Netherlands partner introduced us to, and it's actually made our working day better. We've been using them as well. It definitely has been based on a lot of knowledge sharing and peer learning to develop this guide. So really the overview of the 17 Good Practice Guide. So the structure was formed. So we wanted to make sure that it was easy using. Okay, so it was nearly like a sequence. So the first section really is, as Emma kind of covered, our roadmap. So what as a business we want to start with. So looking at the 17 tools and then building on through each section. So we concentrated on the way we presented the tools, as I said, in a sequence. So we wanted to make sure if a business advisor opens this guide, they can skip to the tool they need rather than scrolling through pages and pages of information. We made sure that it was concise into one page with basic details, and we feel like that we've covered that well. And then at the bottom of each tool, we looked at the links as well. So other relevant links that may help people with starting. So after me, Catherine will be talking about the toolkit. So it's looking at the tools in more depth, where the Good Practice Guide is looking at the tools in a snapshot really. So as I said, these are our 17 tools. So the first one is our business planning and project management. So as you can see, you can just take a quick scan over them there. I'll not go through them all, but as you see, maybe there's some tools Emma mentioned. So really our 17 tools, we've chosen 5 of these that transfer onto our toolkit. So as you can see, the ones that are underlined, these are in our toolkit as well. And as you can see, a business plan template is highlighted in red. So that's what I'll be talking about a bit in a minute. So these are our 3 sections. So networking tools as well. We were having a discussion and we definitely think obviously Zoom has to be added in there, but it is in our toolkit as well. Our course creation tools, so TED-Ed, that's what Laura will be talking about after. Kahoot's a brilliant tool as well for interactive knowledge sharing. And then research and presentations tools. So this is nearly when you're at the end of your business plan and roadmap. These are the ones that can help businesses in presentation scenarios. So Mintail, WordPress, Cobra, all brilliant tools. Nearpod, brilliant. So really what I'm going to do now is talk about the business plan template. So every country has their own business support network in place. Here in Northern Ireland, we have the Go For It programme. So it's delivered across Northern Ireland, and basically it's a free programme designed to help startup businesses develop in their local council area. So I deliver for the Fermanagh and Oonagh District Council. Basically what we do is sit down with the client, looking at the business plan over a 24-month period, making sure the business is viable. Okay, so we make sure looking at a roadmap, looking down, seeing what you want to achieve over the next 24 months. But now today I'm going to have a digital tool focus on it. So now from working on this program, when clients come in, I do get them to consider the digital tools that they will be using over the 24 months. You know, is there a cost involved in them, and adding them into their cash flow as well. So just a brief snapshot here. It's looking at the digital tools in focus, the key selling points as well. So what makes your business different to anyone else out there? You know, are you on a digital focus, how you're working remotely and in the office. So definitely now when clients come in, we're looking at their work situation. So it's looking at, you know, where you're working from, how are you communicating with staff, if you have staff, and it's looking at the tools that can help them through this, and then the cost of digital tools as well, and then also just in general, any tools that can help them with further development. So I'm just going to come out of this presentation here, and I'm going to open our business plan template that we go through here in the Go For It program. So if anyone wants to contact me after about the Go For It program, please do. I was the one emailing you with all the Zoom links, etc. So if anyone wants any more further information on this, please just get in touch. But really, the business plan template, this is what every client who comes through Home Enterprise Door goes through. So first page is basic details, okay? So it's just looking at obviously your business name, business address, telephone, email, etc. So I'm just going to skip on to the business idea. So even at this stage, I would start looking at, okay, how is your business functioning? What sort of every business is different, so it's looking at what way you're functioning in general. Some businesses come in, might be garden and landscape, and they don't think digital tools are relevant for them, but it's looking at, no, there is, if you have staff, what way would you be working with them? You know, as Emma says, you know, scheduling, you know, as well, is there any digital tools that can help you with this process? So even from that point there, we get them thinking, okay. Moving on to their own details. So in all business plans, we look at the experience of the business owner. So that's obviously taken in their experience to develop in the business. But then at that point, I also cover, okay, do you have any digital competencies that, you know, that would help you? Some people that do come in, you know, don't have any clue at all. And then we would direct them in the way of looking at maybe YouTube videos for help and stuff like that, just to build their confidence, local networking events, etc. So there is help out there, it's just looking for it as well. Business goals, obviously just looking at what their goals is over the next 24 months, looking at the products or service they're providing, their key selling points, so definitely looking at in total the digital world side of it, looking at what they're aiming to do. So future plans, so this is nearly one of the most important aspects. People come in and it's like, no, I just want to set up, etc. But it's like, no, after this 24-month period, what do you want to achieve? How do you want to build your business? Is it you want to stay looking at continually build, continually grow, or if you want to release new services, do you want to release new products, building on that. So looking at then the digital tools that can help them achieve this and the support from local areas that are in place. So the market research side of things is very important for any business starting up. So even at this point here, apart from the general word of mouth, internet, etc., there's definitely tools out there that can home in and more market research available. So even directing clients to this as a business advisor is very valuable. So it makes everything a bit more concrete and not a bit more useful for them. So moving on, I'm just going to skip on. So there's competitors, pricing, etc. So even again, they're looking at pricing, you know, how can you establish your pricing? Is again looking at your competitors, etc. So again, going back to the roadmap of our good practice guide, this is the starting point for any business advisor, anyone out there. So it's looking at the roadmap itself. I know Catherine and Laura are probably going to go into a bit more detail talking about the tools, but I want to emphasize that the importance of starting a business, etc., is looking at your business plan. This is the first step of any business moving forward. I am also a mentor on the E&I Enterprise Loan Fund. So basically what that is is a loan program set up in Northern Ireland for startup businesses who are starting up in their first 24 months, and it's up to £25,000 over a 5-year period. So a big part of the loan application is the business plan itself. So the team looking at it in Enterprise Northern Ireland want to make sure that everything's concrete, that your business plan's solid. So that is a very important step of any business starting up. So we thought today that we should cover that before we move into any digital tools, etc. So that's the business plan in a nutshell. And then moving on just to the summary of the good practice guide. So the tools are presented in a concise order, and we look closely at the skills developed. So here is our Digital Changemakers website. The link is up here, as you can see. This is our homepage, a brief about the project and what we are all about. And you can find our good practice guide here. So here's our learning resources. And in the middle here is the good practice guide. It's available in English and it's available in Dutch. So I'm just going to go into the English here. And a wee brief overview that I went through. So this is what our good practice guide looks like, everyone. So it's our brilliant graphics design in Momentum in Ireland designed it. I think it's, the colours and everything is great. So this is the theme throughout. Looking through, basically everything I went through, but the 17 tools are in here, okay? So it's looking at the first section, moving right through to the 5th. So it's all loading there, but if you go on in your own time, you can find all the tools there. And if you need any more information, please get in touch. I don't want to take away from Catherine and Laura what they're saying, but I hope you found it informative. And if anyone needs any more information, just please let me know. And thanks again.
Thank you, Oonagh. That's great run through.
No
I would just pick up on the business plan template because the enterprise company here is about 34 years old now, and we're pulling out the business plan template at the moment to do a business plan for ourselves for 2021 to 2025. And it's an interesting exercise because in some ways you think it's a whole new world and we're talking about digital. In another way, you still have to put all the bits down on paper and all the figures down on paper and where his income's going to come in from. So just to highlight what Oonagh was saying there around the business plan template, I would certainly recommend it. And in the age of digital, it's a great place to start.